Hello, everybody. It is Friday, May 3rd. Look at me. I got my glasses going. You know what Fridays are for? Yeah, that's right. Fun and games here at Indie Agency News. You know, and I don't put my proper name in. Just change it. There you go. Fridays, we cut loose. Casual Friday. Those of you who've seen me, some of you watch these, so you've seen me dress, and I'm always casual Friday. But Friday is about fun and games. Our 3-game shows, we have Pun Fight with our evergreen judge, Jess Safaris, my former colleague at Adweek, etymologist, not bugs, but words, absolutely brilliant author. That is next week. We are looking for a couple of contestants. We'll reach out to our membership for that. We also have Liar Liar, which we had last week, which was very funny. Today is Random Q, random question. We'll bring our guests and our judge in here in a second. But first, a little gratitude. Thank you to all of our members of Indie Agency News. Our brief is build the global home for independent agencies. Our mission is to serve independent agencies and the brilliant people behind them. Our goal is more visibility for indies, more choice for marketers. That's right. We want marketers to get to know our community and our talented people. We have a show every day at 9 a.m. Schedule is going to come out here for next week fairly soon. We'll get that. We're bootstrappy. And if you're an independent agency, you understand what bootstrappy is all about. One of the stories of me was that I was an editor at Adweek for a few years, very proudly. And one of my colleagues, a gent named Jameson Fleming, who is now, I don't know what his actual role is now, executive editor? Managing, I don't remember managing editor. I have to go look, but he has grown within the Adweek firmament. But one of the things that I really appreciate this, because Jameson was the de facto game show host, and I think still is, for Adweek, and he does this great thing every year around Kentucky Derby time. And the contest is very simple. Ad agency or horse. This is the 7th year that he has done this, by the way. So he brings people in and asks them, tells them a name, throws a name up, and they have to guess whether it's an ad agency or a horse. And I think it's so great. It's really funny. It's really fun. Now, listen, he did this at BBH, not an indie, but listen, you're going to see this one here. I'm going to bring it in here. This is, you'll see plenty of indie agency names here. So let's take a look at this before we kick off today. And let me do this right. Don't you love it? Big setup, and then Zanger screws it up. Here we go.
Bartle, Bogle, Haggerty. It's not a Kentucky Derby horse. It's an ad agency. We're here at BBH to play this year's Adweek Sports Minute. I'm Jameson Fleming, the executive editor of Adweek. First one, Epic Ride.
A horse.
You nailed it. Orange Tango.
A horse.
That's an ad agency. Carte Blanche.
Horse.
That is an ad agency. White Penny.
Horse.
That's an ad agency. Catching Freedom.
Horse.
That's correct. Fat Rabbit.
Agency.
That's correct. Tango Squared.
Horse.
That's incorrect. Stronghold.
Horse.
That's correct. Steel Kiwi.
Horse.
That's an ad agency. New Honor Society.
Ad agency.
Correct. Kick Charge.
Ad agency.
Yep. Good Apple.
A horse.
That's an ad agency. Living Proof.
Oh, horse for sure.
Nope, that's an ad agency. No More Time.
Horse.
Correct. Arm Candy.
Horse.
No, that's an ad agency. Motif.
Agency.
That's correct. Tattoo Projects.
Horse.
No, we're still on ad agencies endlessly.
Agency.
No, we're to horses now. Forever Young.
Horse?
That's correct. Did he get 8? Did he win? I am sorry. You did not get 8. You did not win the Howie Sports Minute, but thank you for playing. Brandon.
Horse.
That's an ad agency. Encino.
Agency.
That's a horse. Common Defense. Last one. Let's end on a high note. Common Defense.
Agency.
That's a horse. That's a horse.
Thank you for having me.
Fierceness.
A horse.
You nailed it. Domestic product.
Ad agency.
That's a horse. Renaissance.
Oh, a horse.
That's an ad agency. Last one. $1 Billion Boy.
A horse.
That's an ad agency. I'm sorry, you did not get enough to win this year. We're going to get a winner. We're going to keep doing this with every single person in this agency till someone gets 8. Steel Kiwi.
A horse.
That's an ad agency. Terrakey.
A horse.
That's an ad agency. Cadillac.
That's a car.
New Honor Society.
Horse.
That's an ad agency. Kick Charge.
Agency.
Correct. Good Apple.
Horse.
That's an ad agency. High, Wide, and Handsome.
Horse.
That's an ad agency. White Penny.
Horse.
That's an ad agency. Brandon. What's Brandon? Is he a horse or an ad agency?
A horse.
No, he's an ad agency. Domestic product.
Horse.
That's correct. Renaissance.
Horse.
That's an ad agency. $1 Billion Boy.
Horse.
That's incorrect. Did he get 8? We did not get 8. Did not win the iWeek Sports Minute. Liberal arts.
Horse.
That's correct. No More Time.
Horse.
That's correct. Arm candy.
Agency.
Yeah, somehow. Motif.
Agency.
That's correct. Tattoo project.
Agency.
Still an agency. Endlessly.
Horse.
That's correct. Forever Young.
Horse.
We have a winner. That's it for the iWeek Sports Minute. How did BBH do? Well, you heard it here first. For Adweek, I'm Jameson Fleming.
That's pretty good. Well
I
done,
knew one of
Jameson.
those agencies. Only
Huh?
one. I only knew one of those agencies. I'd only ever heard of one of them.
Are you kidding? That's like our biz dev list now. Tim Leake is our contestant today. Welcome. Bennett. Coming back as a judge.
I think this is my third time. I think
I
I'm getting
mean,
the groove of it.
We have Jess Safaris on, so it's just like I kind of have my rotation. I've got you, I've got Kyle. So we spread the wealth a little bit, but it's always nice so that you can have game knowledge of all this.
Ben,
James,
did you get my Venmo bribe? I just want to make sure that went through. I just
Venmo
sent it
bribe,
like 2
what,
minutes
$1?
ago, so
Yeah.
It
I'm
should,
not
it should
even
came
on my
on your
phone.
phone.
I'm
Yeah,
getting
no,
something
that's-
else to this.
That's $1. Yeah, I got $1. I'm the weird person that somehow manages to get his last name for like a lot of social accounts and Venmo. So for whatever, if you want to Venmo me, it's just @Zanger. So there you go. Have you ever Venmoed somebody to get their attention? Like, here's $5.
No, somebody's done that to me before, though.
Oh,
I thought
really?
That was interesting.
Oh, do tell. Hold
I
on.
would love that.
Well, you don't have to name names.
No,
But
I
just-
don't remember who it was, but it was
Is this when
one
you
of
were at
those
RPA?
things where they were trying to cold prospect, and they had my email, and somehow then figured out the Venmo, and they Venmoed me $1 and
God.
said, "We're just trying to get your attention, and most people wouldn't do it that way," and blah blah blah. And I remember it happened, and I thought it is a really intriguing way to stand out of the inbox, for instance.
That's $1 investment to make the cold lead slightly warmer, or to make it colder because that's creepy. That is creepy.
It
All right.
depends how you pull it off. I feel like they threaded the needle well, but it wasn't something I needed, whatever it was. It was a year or two ago.
Generally not. Right. Tim Leake, formerly SVP and Chief Marketing and Innovation Officer at RPA. That's how we first met in Los Angeles. He is currently the founder and CEO of Let's Lightbulb. We were together at the Amen Conference in Louisville, Kentucky, home of the Kentucky Derby. So again, props to Jameson
Missed it
for
by
that.
2 weeks.
Well, did you really want to be there?
No,
I mean,
but
Yeah, it's a
it
little.
would have been cool. It would have been cool. It's a big anniversary year. I think it was a big.
No,
year.
it is 150, and and we. I was very fortunate to interview. Oh gosh, I forget the owner's name. Anita Ebert, legendary jockey Pat Day, and then trainer Kenny McPeak, who has a horse in the Derby. I may or may not have put $20 to win on him. So, and pretty much a little bit of a long shot, but hey, if it hits, dinner's on. Well, maybe not me, but we'll just see how much I make out of it. And let's just see. But it really was a great time. Thank you again to Eamon for bringing us and Kyle O'Brien from Adweek. We really did have a great time. So the task at hand today, fun and games. It's random Q. So we have a list of 10 questions. Tim will choose between 1 and 10, and he'll have a minute or two to answer the question. And Bennett is going to judge his question on quality, maybe levity, just the overall sense of goodness of the answer. So this is a lot like British panel shows. Bennett and I did try to do a live interactive trivia thing, and because there was a lag between StreamYard and LinkedIn, he's like, dude, what question are you on? It was like the satellites back in the 1970s. If somebody was reporting from London and they were in New York, there was a lag of about a minute. So we decided to go this route instead. And quite frankly, it's far more enjoyable and fun. Let's be honest. But we will do trivia, interactive trivia live. We will have an Indie AF series coming up fairly soon. So we're gathering more sand on the beach. But today it's about random Q. A reminder that this show is sponsored by the Papaya Growers of Oregon. Go to papayaoregon.com. Yes, that's right. Think of if you think of tomatoes, you think of hothouse tomatoes from British Columbia. They're some of the best. There are techniques that are done to grow papayas in Oregon. Go to Papaya Oregon to learn more. Thank you to the home team for sponsoring this show. All right, Tim.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Let's Light Bulb after we finish this game. But I want you to start with a number between 1 and 10, please.
I'm going to go with number 1, please.
Oh, here we go. What is your favorite movie genre? All right.
I have a soft spot for heist movies.
Oh,
and
okay. He just
kind
jumps
of
right
all
in. Jeez,
follow
okay.
a similar thing, but like they're really good. The Ocean's 11 type movie, and there's a few of them. And I remember one a while back, Ed Norton and Robert De Niro. I actually can't remember what the name of the actual movie was, but it was
I can see it. Yeah.
The Steal or The Heist or something like that. And it had inspired me to write a short film. I never produced it, but I always thought the idea was cool at the time, which was like instead of like robbing a bank, it was to steal from. It was to be able to. Oh, I called it The Sneak, and it was to sneak into as many movies as you could, despite only paying for one. And they had started to crack down on being able to do that. These days, it's kind of hard. You have to have an assigned seat and stuff. But it was like, how do you sneak past the ushers and change your clothes and everything like that, and not get busted? And of course, there's the older guy who's giving the younger guy, all the tips, and it's one last sneak, before he retires, before he goes away, and then everything goes wrong. And so
everything goes haywire. All right, so to round out this answer, who, and Bennett, maybe you would agree with me on this question. Who would you cast?
Good question.
The lead, and then who else would you cast as the other characters?
In the Sneak,
movie.
the one I was just talking about, or in any heist movie?
Sneak coming to Netflix. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I think
or Tubi. That feels like a Tubi film. Tubi's going to invest in that. All right. Who are the stars?
I think Bryan Cranston for the one last sneak, because he can play that.
Oh, so good.
It's devilish and sneaky in its way, wizened in its way, but also everyman kind of thing. And then who would be the younger guy? You
know who I'd put as the younger guy? Donald Glover.
Oh yeah, that would be good. Yeah. I just finished Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Thank you.
That was a good ending too. It worked really well. That was a great show.
Oh, you know who? I'm a huge Aquafina fan. So if you put Donald Glover, Aquafina, and then
She already did Oceans, so
no, I know. Oh, I rewatched that. I really like that movie.
they're solid movies. What I love about the heist genre is I never really remember how it went. It follows a formula, but it's twisty.
Right.
And so when you rewatch it, it's fun because I don't remember how it went down in the I've seen the Oceans movie several times. I couldn't tell you the difference between 9, 10, 11, or 8, or whatever numbers they're going from.
Right.
And they're always fun to rewatch because they're
Yep. Indeed. All right. So we've got Donald Glover, Aquafina, Bryan Cranston. We need a third.
Sorry. We need to
need a
throw
third
it in there. I
star.
feel like you need somebody in the middle that's unexpected. I'm going to go with Melissa McCarthy. I think she'd be a fun addition to this group.
I mean,
because she
Jesse
doesn't feel like the
Plemons.
rest of them.
Jesse Plemons, wasn't he in Game Night? Remember that?
He's funny. He was funny in Game Night too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesse Plemons would be really good in that.
Yeah.
Or you put like Dame Judi Dench. I just like saying Dame Judi Dench. Oh, okay.
Almost anybody from the show Silicon Valley would work.
good
Like
point.
any of those archetypal characters or the actors who played them would play well in this. Because I do think building on your Jesse Plemons, you need a slightly weirdo, like somebody the rest of them kind of don't react.
Oh, you know what?
Don't relate to at all.
Maybe you just go nth degree Zach Galifianakis. I mean,
Zach could play in anything, I think.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, Bennett, let's score that one.
Well, Tim and I have something in common. I love heist movies, so that ranked highly. I'm giving you an 8.5.
8.5. All right, we're out of the gate hot. I like this.
I don't know what anybody else has ranked, so I hope that's good.
I was
a little space above.
Not prepared for that question, so I will let you know.
I was not prepared for the
I'll look as we get to question 2 here. So, question 2. That was a very, very bad. You have to fade out and fade in, Doug. Good job. All right, Tim. 2 through 10 now.
I'm gonna go with number 2.
Oh, geez. You're just going straight down. Okay, here we go. All right, let's take this one out. All right. The question is, what is the best food in LA? Now, listen, Bennett is in New York, specifically Brooklyn, but I'm going to say my experiences with food in Los Angeles have been nothing short of spectacular. So I'm just going to leave it there. Tim,
We got some great stuff. And I've lived in New York City and I've lived here in the New York. What I always said is like, there's like down and dirty in New York is actually kind of good. Like you just run
really
to
good
the deli or whatever, and then really upscale is good. But the middle stuff is kind of missing for me in New York. And LA excels at the middle. It's like it's not too fancy and it's not too
interesting,
cheap, but it's really, really good. I assume you mean like a restaurant specifically as opposed to a style of food.
Well, I'm not saying like the Applebee's on La Brea, but like, you know, like it could be like Italian food in LA is surprisingly good.
I'm going to go slightly specific because and I've got 2 key answers. The place that I love, I don't think they're outside of LA, though there are 4 locations here in LA. There is an Italian place called Uovo, and it's UOVO. It is so good. And I thought I actually did discover it early on. I remember when the first location opened up on 2nd Street in Santa Monica, and it tastes like Italian food tastes like in Italy, and it's not that expensive. We always go, every time we go anywhere else, we're like, yeah, that cost twice as much, and it wasn't as good as Uovo. And
got it.
So you end up going back, and the best hidden one, because there are 4 of them, but there's one in Marina Del Rey that is right on the water, and it's beautiful. People have figured out it's there. You can't do reservations. You just have to show up. So it takes a second. But then I'm going to give a down and dirty answer too to build which is Trip Burger, which we've got a bunch of great like pop-up food places.
Right.
And my buddy Mark Tripp used to be he was our in-house director at RPA. And like 5 years ago, he used to do like every time we'd have a big party, whether it was like an all agency or whatever, he would come and he would grill his like smash burgers up. And he's got some kind of proprietary brand. He went out and he did this on his own.
Wait, what?
And he's crushing it now.
Wait,
And-
it was proprietary back then. Dude, don't tell anybody. It's extra salt.
Yeah, he makes it himself though. He doesn't just go buy beef. He mixes something together. He puts his blend together.
He doesn't
is
tell you what it
good.
is?
I know what some of the ingredients are, but I don't know how to.
No,
I do
I'm
know he
just
mixes
gonna say
bacon.
it's
He mixes
a little
bacon into
it's
the-
a little ominous when you're talking about food and saying it's proprietary. What is it? I don't know.
That's KFC, right? The secret recipe.
Yeah,
Everybody,
but you know it's chicken.
Oh well, no, it's a burger. It's not. It's not.
It's putting llama meat in it for all you know.
He's not. He's
Okay.
not. There is some bacon. There is some bacon mixed in.
Oh, okay.
It's very simple. He actually brings in potato buns, which you don't find out here
No,
in
yeah.
LA. You find them in
Yeah.
New York. But he's got a bunch of Martin's potato buns, American cheese, smashes those things up.
Okay.
They're so good.
Yeah,
and
we didn't do that.
There are times I'll find him. He'll pop up at an event at night, and I'll be like, "Oh, I want to support." How long? It's like, "Oh, it's an hour and 20-minute wait before it's up."
Jesus,
So,
good for him. Good
he's
for him. I
killing
love
it.
stories like that.
So
Okay.
Trip burger
Bennett.
and a Wovo, both
All right,
awesome.
Trip burger. All right. Trip with 1 P or 2?
2 P's.
Two Trip burger. All right. Real brief aside, Davis Jones from the Many is the leader at 24 points. I'm just saying. All right, Bennett,
Oh.
your score.
My score is just knowing LA traffic is always going to be a pain, not to demerit. So I'm going to have to give it a 6.
I got big because of the question. I had no control over LA.
Oh, that is harsh.
That was harsh. Yeah.
That is a little harsh. I mean, you could have
Well,
probably
we'll try
gone to
Trip Burger.
Hotel. Huh?
I'll try Trip Burger though.
You should try. Trip burger.
Wow.
'Cause
Okay,
they're in
so-
different places depending. One thing is from where my office is now. He's actually set up almost kitty corner once or twice a week, which is
Okay.
dangerous.
Here's the thing now is that you have to score a perfect 10 on this next answer
Okay.
to pip Davis Jones for the lead on this thing.
Yeah, because
So
I got dinged for LA traffic. Okay,
You can choose 3 through 10.
let's go with 3.
Okay. This is more of a
It's
work.
just
question.
as random as the other numbers.
All right. So hold on. Which campaign you worked on? Oh, this is my improper grammar one again. Which campaign you worked on is a personal favorite? Which
Campaign have you worked on?
that-
that's a
hold
personal
on.
favorite of yours? Yeah.
hold on. Which campaign did
You may.
you work on that is let's get this proper. Which campaign did you work on that is a personal favorite?
All right.
Well, that's not even that.
I've
that's
got a
not-
lot of there's a lot of answers to this. I'm gonna rewind a little bit just because it was really fun to make and we got to do a lot with it. I worked when I was a creative director at Saatchi & Saatchi in New
Ooh.
York, but I
Okay.
was working on the Toyota dealer association accounts, which is not like this.
Yeah, tier
Not
2.
the sexy part of
Yeah.
dealer associations,
Tier
right?
2.
It-
Yep.
And normally, they want to see deals. They're very retail oriented. They're very, hey, let's buy now. And in New York, the dealer association there had signed a cool contract with Eli Manning specifically, and then whoever was the quarterback of the Jets at the moment. And so we went through a couple of them over the course of this.
Well,
And there's
yeah,
always a
that's-
challenge
that's
of
all
going,
right.
how do you use somebody like Eli Manning or Mark Sanchez or whoever we were working with at the time to and make it an interesting commercial that is going to sell the cars? And of course, we want to do something creative. And so we came up with a really simple. And the other thing too is, even though he's been on SNL and stuff like that, or Eli has, these guys are not always good actors. And you don't get a lot of time with them. The way it works is you get the time you get. I think it's a 6-hour day or something like that. You got to cram as
Right.
much in. And so we we came up with this concept basically that was every spot was going to be about them buying a car. And we used the line that says it's a great time to sign. And then we could put a deal at the end. So it was always about him signing for the car. And there was always just some funny gag with it. And we were able to just write a bunch of scripts. And because it was always the same location, we shot with 3 cameras. So we shot it kind of like a sitcom. It was like multi-camera. That way, when we knew when we got it and it was funny, it was like, great, move on to the next one, because we knew we already had it from 3 sides. Right. So it was really fun. And one day, every time we did this, and we did this for years, and I think they're not still doing it with Eli. I think they're still doing long running. The campaign went on even after I left, but we did it for 4 or 5 years while I was there. And so every year or every time we'd shoot, we would get 6 spots in. At least, we'd shoot them and get them a different way. And you just knew you got them on the day, because if we saw it, it was funny. We knew we had coverage of it. And it became really, really long running. And I loved kind of years later. You remember that Netflix show, Kimmy Schmidt? Mm-hmm. Do you remember that one? They actually spoofed the ads we did. And I don't think probably the writers lived in New York City and didn't realize it was not a national campaign that only ran in New York. So they were spoofing the fact that Eli was always doing Toyota commercials in that. And I loved the fact that our little regional campaign made a big enough impact with those writers that it got spoofed within it. So that was a fun one.
Okay, hold on. What year was this? Eli Manning Toyota chemistry check. Does that sound right? No, that's Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah, you're trying to look it up and see if you can actually find it.
Oh God, yeah, I'm trying to find that. So fumbles your Land Cruiser.
I'm actually familiar with that being from New York, because I've seen.
You remember this?
I remember those spots. I don't remember the actual year, but if it's Eli and Mark Sanchez in the same thing,
it would have been about 12 to 14 years ago.
Well, yeah. So you won the account in 2003. So hold on, I'm going to show you this. This is like Saatchi wins $90 million. Oh, I gotta log in.
Go to Eli Manning Toyota commercial, The Catch, and you're going to see one of the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah, the Catch. Let me see.
That was a funny one.
Okay. Did you do butt fumble with Sanchez?
I don't remember that one.
2009.
All right, congratulations.
All right, hold on. I think we found it. Let's see here. You're familiar with Mark Sanchez and the butt fumble, aren't you?
Iconic.
No.
Being fans of the Jets.
Oh my God! No, don't ding him for that. Don't ding him. For that.
Don't ding me for.
I know you. I know what you're.
I still love them. They've got great uniforms now.
I've always
nice throwbacks.
Yeah. So let's see here. All right, let's take a look here. Okay, here we go. The Catch.
All right, congratulations.
Yes.
Brand new Toyota.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, Mr. Manning, my pen.
Oh, sorry. Here you go.
It's a great time to sign, because right now at your Toyota dealer, you can get amazing lease financing options or great cashback incentives on all your favorite Toyotas. To see the latest deals or create your own Eli Manning videos and photos, visit greattimetosign.com.
As a Philadelphia Eagles fan, I can't really endorse that. But it's funny because now that I saw it, I do remember it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because my brother lives in New York, so I would go back. Yeah, so
that's good. There are all the ones that looked like that. There was a series where they kept doing them well after I left, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, you gotta keep the party going. Got to keep the party going. We got to keep this party going. Bennett.
Yeah,
the final score.
This definitely gives me a solid 8.
Oh, so
still that's not enough. I needed the 10.
Davis Jones still in the lead.
Oh man,
of season 2. Okay. Well, Tim, I'm sorry you didn't get through to the next round.
That's okay, but thank you.
So
I'm gonna revoke my dollar Venmo to you, Bennett. I just canceled it.
All right.
That's good. But Tim, in all seriousness, give us a couple minutes on what you got cooking right now.
Yeah. So I left RPA last summer to start my own thing. And the crazy thing when you start something is you got to figure out what that is. And I've gone through a few pivots of what it is. But what I'm focusing now is what I call executive facilitation. My goal is to make it fun, creative, and insanely productive. And I work with leadership teams specifically. So one of the things that I did after Saatchi and between Saatchi and RPA and a little bit overlapping is I worked with an organization called Hyper Island for full-time for 2 years and freelance for probably about 10 all in total, where we helped work with brands and agencies to help them own their future. And facilitation was a big part of that. That was educational facilitation, but I realized that a lot of what I was doing with RPA, like the role that I had there wasn't in charge of any particular group. So in order to try to get people aligned, I had to facilitate them, and I had to bring people together and create experiences where we could get as much accomplished in as short a time as possible. And so what I like to say that I do with Let's Lightbulb is help leadership teams accomplish twice as much in half the time, which is a creative way of saying 4 times as much.
Yeah,
because that's how the math works. But there's a truth to that, executives, leaders, especially think about all the indie agencies that you work with, leadership teams, trying to get them all together at the same time. It's so hard. And yet, these are the most expensive people in the agency, and they're really busy trying to get stuff done for clients most of the time. We know that we need to be thinking about what's going on with our own agencies and our own business. And it's very difficult to carve that space out. We used to have these retreats or offsites, and certainly since the pandemic, that's gotten a lot harder to do. Sometimes people aren't in the same location, the same cities anymore. So often we need to be able to do it virtually, and that's its own challenge. Bringing in a facilitator like myself, I really can help make the most of that time, and I'm very outcome focused. So it really is about how do we make these decisions, figure out what the right thing is to do, and get there. And we have a lot of fun doing it. So team bonding and learning is part of it, but they're happy side effects as opposed to the actual goal of what we're doing. It's very much outcome. How do we figure out what the strategy looks like, what the decisions are, what the future looks like? And that's what I'm doing. And it's really fun. Yep.
And how do people get to you?
People can find me at tim@letslightbulb.com, or just go to the website, letslightbulb.com. That's the easiest.
Yeah, I like it. Bennett, what do you have to shamelessly plug this week?
It's my birthday tomorrow.
Hey!
That's all I got.
There you go. At least your birthday is on a good day. Mine was on a Monday.
Ooh.
It was brutal.
So your birthday is always on Star Wars Day.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That's true.
Big superhero guy, so it works for me.
It works out for you.
It should be what? The Fall Guy comes out today, so that will be my substitute for an MCU film.
There you go.
My birthday is on tax day.
Oh, that's right.
So,
I was with you, and we were together in Louisville at the time, and so thanks for celebrating it with me.
Yeah, it's also the day the Titanic sank. So there you go. I don't know what that says about me, but what are you gonna do? All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. I'm gonna have you sit backstage for a second while I wrap this up.
Thanks for having me.
Wave bye-bye. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Friday is always about fun and games, and we are, like I mentioned, we are going to start taking this out on the road a little bit. More details on this. I mean, listen, we're still growing. And so thank you to our 86 members. And we invite you to get to know us here at Indie Agency News. Just go to indieagency.news. Very easy to get a hold of me. You can also hit me up at Zanger, Zanger at Indie Agency News, indieagency.news. Also a reminder, papayaoregon.com, our great sponsor for this program. Papaya? The tagline. Let me read this right. You want some papaya? Yes. papayaoregon.com. On behalf of everybody at Indie Agency News, I'm Doug Zanger. See you next time, everyone.